Hot takes are everywhere. But what if we actually stopped and asked, what does the Bible say about it? This is
A
a
Moment
Moment
Podcast.
Podcast.
Welcome to episode 6 of A Moment Podcast. Today we're going to do part 2 of our abortion topic.
The series. Yeah, I mean, kind of. So like we said, if you watched our last video, today we're going to be debunking the worldly perspective of abortion and saying why those common pro-choice arguments do not apply, and how Christians should respond to these. And yeah, because some of these arguments are very compelling, and it can make someone be like, oh, I mean, I guess that kind of does make sense. Maybe I don't fully support no abortion. You know what I mean? So we're just going to tell you why,
And
as a Christian, we should not.
You're going to hear Carly say the word debunk quite a few times. So I am going to give you the definition of debunk. It means to expose the falseness or hollowness of a myth, idea, or belief.
So we are exposing the falseness of these ideas that the pro-choice, pro-murder argument or group will say.
Yes. Yeah.
Alright, so let's just dive right in. Our first one that we're going to be talking about is probably the most common one that everybody says, and that's going to be my body, my choice.
Yeah. So
you look scared or something.
Wait, mommy. So yeah, you see all these
celebrities, Billie Eilish, Olivia Rodrigo, common celebrities. They've literally at their concerts just like screamed, "My body, my choice."
So actually, no.
First of all, as we established in our last video, it is not your body. There's two separate, independent
the great
entities.
Lord above.
Yes, it is his creation. It is another human being. I mean, we said science proves that human life begins at conception. So when a woman is pregnant, she is pregnant with a completely different human life, and it is not her body. Therefore, it is not her choice if she should have the authority to kill the baby or not.
It's my body. It's my choice if I kill Carly or not.
And this also, what I have here is, a lot of people say the law shouldn't tell me what I should do with my body, but the law already tells us what we can and cannot do with our bodies. It's like, I can't go out here today and just go attacking someone with a knife, or I can't go out here today and use my body to throw a kid in the river. Like, you can't do that. The law tells you that you cannot do those things.
Yeah, with your boundaries to protect others.
Yes. Laws are there putting boundaries on our actions, ensuring that all rights are protected. Rights for the born and preborn. So my body, my choice. It is not your body. It is not your choice. And also, if it was your body, if a woman was pregnant with a male baby, she would now be a part male. Like, she should identify as part male now, because she has male anatomy in her now.
The XY chromosomes and XX chromosomes.
Right. And she would also, like, if it really is her body, she should now tell everyone that she has 4 arms and 4 legs and 2 heads. If it really is the woman's body, then she should have those things.
Yeah, if the baby is the woman's body. Yeah.
Right. And people will also say that the baby's just like another organ, but organs have the same DNA as the human. And I mean, it's a scientific fact.
Organs keep you alive.
Right. And it's a scientific fact that the baby in your womb has its unique set of DNA. So it is not your organ. It is not a body part.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to read the next one?
Forcing birth. Birth is a natural process.
It's not. There's nothing forcing to it.
Yeah, you shouldn't induce labor of a dead baby. You shouldn't kill the baby in the first place, but
right.
I don't even think it should be considered birth after an abortion, because you're not.
Well, I mean, it is, because birth. What's the definition? It's just like, expelling. Sounds kind of wrong, but like expelling of offspring. What is birth?
The emergence of a baby or other young from the body of its mother. The start of life. Yeah, but I disagree with that, because life begins at conception.
Facts. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that birth magically makes you a human. We established that in our last episode.
Yeah.
And birth is a natural process of pregnancy, and I mean, like, it's
It's
bound to happen. It's going to happen.
It's the last step of pregnancy.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, people would say that abortion is forced death. Like, if you want to say that not getting an abortion is forced birth, then abortion is forced death. You're forcing death upon an innocent child that it's not. You didn't give them any choice. You just made that decision for them.
For sure.
Also, I had you might not know that, but like, people use the argument that it's not a human, and we kind of already established that with the My Body, My Choice, that it's not a human. But it is a human, and science proves that. The Bible proves that.
Our last episode, if you watched, we went through many different Bible verses that was just speaking over and over again that the Bible, or that God tells us that humans are
knitted together in our mother's womb.
That He created us.
Yes.
Like Jeremiah 1:5, God has that specific plan and purpose for us in our mother's womb and out of our mother's womb after birth. So it shows the difference there. And then, like we talked about in Luke, when John the Baptist and Jesus met in the womb with Elizabeth and Mary carrying them, they had life in the womb. They were humans. They had that spiritual
awareness.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, the thing that it's not a human or that it's not alive, I mean, just look at science. Like, you don't even have to be a Christian to know that that in the womb there is a human life, and it is a human, a zygote, an embryo, a fetus, whatever you want to call it. That's a stage of human development. And I mean, one human plus one human equals another human. What else do you think they're gonna create? Like, it's the offspring of a human being.
We're gonna create a donkey.
Right. Like, it's just okay.
A clump of cells.
We're all clumps of cells. We're all made up of billions of cells. So
I bet I could scratch off a cell.
Ridiculous. Yeah, like, me doing this is scratching off a bunch of cells. We're all cells. We're all just like floating
cells
molecules.
Living in a cell.
Right. Exactly. Everything is made up of. Yeah. I don't.
Yeah. So back to our forcing birth, forcing abortion. Any abortion that you're gonna have, the baby is going to have to come out one way or another. Mm-hmm. So it's not like it just poof disappears into the abyss. No, it's gonna come out.
And it probably has to come out because it's alive and it's growing. If the baby was not alive, then why do we have to take it out of the body?
Yeah, my hair is bothering me.
The next one, the bodily autonomy argument. I would just say, because women are like, it's just bodily autonomy. What was that thought?
I think it's a car.
What?
A car.
Okay. Bodily autonomy. Your right to own your own body does not include the right to kill someone else. Bodily autonomy is great. You should have bodily autonomy. You should know that your body is your own, but your bodily autonomy cannot be pushed to kill another body.
Right. It should be your own, as in respect my boundaries, respect who I am as a person. Mm-hmm. Don't invade my personal space. But it's also not my own, as in, well, it's my body, so I can kill my child.
Right. Right. And
we touched on it last episode. A lot of people, especially Christians, make excuses for abortion because of rape. I'm pretty sure it's 1 to 3%.
It is, abortions. Yeah, that's a stat that I have back here.
1 to 3%.
It's like 1% of abortions
are due to rape. So I was about to say,
most of them, like 96% of them, are just because the pregnancy was unwanted.
Exactly.
Also for the bodily autonomy, you have to provide. It's just like a parent, when the baby is born, they can't just kill that baby because, like, let's say this newborn is 3 days old, and the mom's like, I don't want to care for this baby anymore. I'm just gonna kill it. She can't do that. She has to safely transfer the care of the child from herself to another adult And killing is not an option in that scenario, and it should be the same for abortion.
Mhm.
The womb is the natural place for a growing human being, for a fetus, for a zygote. Like, that's the natural place. And when you conceive, you're already a parent. Like,
Yeah.
you're already a parent. You already have that responsibility that if you don't want to carry the
I feel
baby
like
anymore,
the maternal instinct kind of just kicks in.
right? Like, if you don't want that baby after they're born, well, you still have to have that responsibility of carrying that child and taking care of them in your womb until the care of them can be transferred to another adult.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole bodily autonomy. And I've heard also people say, like, I don't give consent to the fetus using my uterus. When the uterus is quite literally the organ designed for another human being to grow in, and it's their natural space.
And it goes back to the 1% being rape. If you don't want that baby being in your uterus, then don't do things that
exactly
create children.
Pregnancy is a natural consequence of having intercourse.
I don't even think we should consider it a consequence. It's a beautiful thing.
Well, it's a natural consequence. It's not like a bad consequence. Yeah. But the result of having intercourse is
a baby.
There's a chance of a baby. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you do not, your bodily autonomy right is to your own body, and that does not include the right to kill someone else's body or another human.
Right.
It does not extend to that.
Yeah, like we touched on last episode too. Adoption and foster care system. There are other options than adoption. I mean, than abortion.
I was about to say, what?
There are more options than just abortion. If you do not want to carry, or if you don't want to care for your baby, put it up for adoption.
And people will always say, well, the foster care system, the adoption care system, it's so bad, it sucks, right? And I'm not denying that fact. I think there's so much improvement that needs to be done for the adoption and foster care system, but just because that industry is failing, that does not justify ending a life as a solution. Like, the solution to the adoption and foster care industry failing is not abortion. It's not killing children before they can be in that environment.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if you gave a child a choice, would you rather go back to your foster home or adoption agency, or would you rather be not given a chance at life? I don't think anyone's going to choose to not have a chance at life.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely before they even get a chance to live it. Like,
right.
I don't know. I feel like it doesn't justify the adoption foster care failing, does not justify abortion.
No, because, I mean, parents fail. The school system fails.
Right.
Doctors fail.
But the solution to that is not killing people.
Right. Like, I read something the other day. It was speaking on church hurt, but I feel like it kind of applies. You go to a church for the first time and they say something wrong, or you get your toes stepped on and you never go back again. But you go to McDonald's and they mess up your order 100 times. And you go back every single time.
Right.
I feel like it's the same here. You go to a doctor and they mess up a little bit, or like tell you you're gonna have so long to live, and you outlive it, or you live a little less than that. But that doesn't mean you never go to a doctor ever again. It's the same with abortion and adoption.
Right. Just because the system's failing does not mean
you get rid of it.
Yeah, we should kill. And then oh my gosh, I've also heard a lot of people say, like, someone who's in foster care, someone who's in adoption, and they say that they would have rather been aborted. And I think that's horrific and that they need some help for that. But I don't think that we should base killing another individual, separate person based on the experiences of another person, because you never know how someone's life is going to turn out. You never know how that baby in the womb, what their life is going to look like. You don't know, and you cannot base the decision to kill them on what might happen or the what ifs of what might happen to them in their lives. You can't do that. You never know how a person's life is going to turn out, and just because you might think it will turn out in one way or another, that does not justify just ending them before they even get a chance to live that life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, even kids who aren't in foster systems or not in the adoption center, I feel like there's still humans who say they would rather have never had a chance at life just because things have went poorly in their life.
Yeah.
And like Carly was saying, those people just,
they
need more support. They need help.
Need so
they
much
need
more
care.
support for people.
Yeah, for sure. So just because someone, like, let's say 5 out of 100 people don't want to live, I don't think that should set the bar for everyone.
That shouldn't. We shouldn't take their experiences and say because this person experienced it, it's better to just abort
I mean,
the
that's a
child.
big thing even with this big whole feminism movement and pro-choice movement. Every woman has their own feelings. Every woman has their own story and background. So why are we putting on a truth on another baby who hasn't even had a chance at life? Like, why are you telling them they're not going to?
Exactly. And then we have the personhood. I feel like we kind of already went over that, but in the last video, personhood it literally just means membership in a human species. Like, there should be no set, like, you know what I mean? Like, people will say to have personhood, you have to have consciousness, and that leads to like the consciousness argument of, well, I mean, I could be unconscious right now. Like, I could pass out, be unconscious. Does that give you the right to kill me now? Like,
yeah, no.
And then people will say, well, to have personhood, you have to have like thoughts and feelings, and it's just like any time in history when we have put this set of rules on personhood, it's never turned out bad, and that'll lead us into like slavery later. It's never turned out good.
Right.
Did I say that?
You said never turned out bad.
Oh, it's never turned out
Slavery is bad. Abortion is bad.
And personhood, it should not be a matter of your size or your skill, because a lot of people will say you have to have like certain brain functioning. There's disabled people that have barely, like, little to no brain functioning, but you still consider them a human, worthy, deserving of worth and value.
Right.
So I think personhood just is a membership in the human species, and it should be no more. And that argument of personhood, it's just used to try to justify abortion.
For sure. Which kind of touches on that birthdays, like we talked about. Birthdays are given at your birth, which is what a lot of the pro-choice people say is the beginning of life. But obviously, God and science tells us that life begins at conception.
Mm-hmm.
So people say that, oh, well, since a birthday is, celebrated whenever they're born instead of when they're conceived.
Concepted. That's a new word.
Conceived, that it is proving their point, but that's just a cultural.
Yeah, birthdays are just a cultural thing that we've created as a society.
I feel like it would be.
It's not scientific.
Weird if I was like, "Happy birthday! I was conceived today."
See, that's what like our culture has formed. Culture has formed our minds to think that would be weird, and I feel like for me it would kind of be weird, but just because birthdays exist does not like mean that life begins at birth.
I mean, we celebrate Jesus' birth in December, but I've read some studies that think Jesus wasn't born in the winter. He was supposedly born in the summer, in the early months of summer.
Yeah. And what was I was gonna add one more thing on the birthdays. People will say the birthdays, like, you can't have a funeral without a birthday, so like people should not mourn their abortions or whatever, but I don't know. I feel like that's kind of strange because people have funerals for miscarriages. Like, people will miscarry or they'll have a stillborn.
For sure.
They never really had a birthday, but they're still having a funeral. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, whenever you go to your first appointment or your very first few appointments when you find out you're pregnant, whether you plan to have an abortion or not, I feel like they give you a due date. So, like, it kind of gives you a birthday, even whenever.
Yeah. But that due date does not mean that the baby will magically become alive when they're born.
Right.
Reproductive right. They say that, many feminists will say that abortion is a reproductive right. But my response to this would just be, your reproductive right does not include killing a child who's already been reproduced.
Absolutely not.
Because at the when the sperm hits the egg and it's the moment of conception, that is a new human being who has been produced, and it's not reproductive right. Reproductive rights would be like, what's reproductive right?
You
like right to like
reproduce.
Healthcare. And
yeah, women's healthcare.
Women's healthcare, but women's healthcare does not include abortion, and many people will say that it does.
Yeah.
But I don't think
they should be working with the funeral home company.
Oh my gosh. Like reproductive rights would be you should have the right to use contraception if you choose to. Like that is a reproductive right.
I googled reproductive rights, and the very first thing that came up with is abortion.
See, that's what society tells us, but I don't believe that. Your reproductive right does not include the right to kill a child who's already been reproduced. It's not a reproductive right.
Alright, the justice.gov, so like the United States Department of Justice website for reproductive rights, says that women's ability to seek reproductive care in states where it's legal, they have the ability to inform and count. Yeah.
Wait, let me look something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the society will tell us that reproductive right is the right to contraception, abortion, and fertility care. But I do not believe that abortion should be included in that because, like I've said 3 times now, reproductive rights do not include a child who's already been reproduced and kill them. Right. Okay, moving on. So I think reproductive rights would be contraception, fertility care, things like that.
Yeah.
Even though that could be a whole episode within itself on.
We might have a part 3.
No. Okay, moving on. Do you want to read that one? It helps kind of explain.
What is that word?
No, we're on this one.
I know, but I was just reading.
That says poor.
That word.
We'll talk about that when we get there.
Okay. Some essential, that one, right?
It said people say that abortion is essential for equal rights with men. But even early feminists.
Men aren't going to have an abortion.
Men don't have the right to kill their children because men aren't even allowed in the abortion decision, even though it is half their child.
And I think that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and women, you could say women have more rights than men, and they're not equal because men don't have the right to kill their children. Women shouldn't have the right to kill their children either.
Right, if a woman wants to keep the baby and the man doesn't, then it's kind of like, I don't care what you think.
Yeah.
Which goes into earlier
because
episodes.
It's their body who's carrying it.
Like our first episode, or second episode, but our first episode discussing a topic, we discussed feminism and equal rights and all that stuff. And God doesn't have it designed to where we're supposed to be equal in that sense, but we're equal as children of God. So the whole feminist movement is we gotta be equal to the men, but yet here we are
in every aspect. Yeah, like we have to be equal to men in every aspect.
We have to be. That's kind of common in society today. Everyone is preaching or protesting for equal rights, but really the people protesting just want to be above.
Right. I think, yeah. And then I also read this, it was like this quote, and abortion is the most effective means of sexism because it rids the world of a bunch of unwanted females. I mean, females, little girls in the womb are killed and boys are killed because of abortion every year, and we'll get into some stats of that. Yeah, every day. It's crazy how many abortions. I mean, there's just like, we'll talk about that when we get there. Okay, moving on, so we don't get off track. That they're unwanted.
Yeah, unwanted. No such thing. They don't exist. It's just not a clump of cells.
I don't believe there's ever an unwanted child. I don't think that's a real thing. I feel like every child is wanted by somebody. There's a such thing as an unwanted pregnancy. People cannot want pregnancy, but that does not mean that the child is unwanted.
Or it kind of goes into when people like tell their kids you were an accident baby. It kind of just plants into the kid's head that I didn't want you.
Right. No child is unwanted. Every child is wanted by somebody.
Even if it is sad and the parents didn't want a child, God did. He planned them. He got them here for a reason. Their life is purposeful.
Valuable.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's poor.
Four.
You want to read that one?
Four.
People will get abortions because they think they're too
about
poor.
that.
This whole poor idea of if you can't afford a child, you should just abort them. And I think that ties directly into the eugenics movement of the United States did the eugenics movement first, and then the Nazis picked it up, and it was a big thing in Nazi Germany, and the United States stopped, but Nazis just took it over and they did everything with it. And what it was is to just get like the purest race and encourage people who were poor or low income, or who were even like black, or like a ethnicity that they didn't like. They encouraged those people to get abortions and to become sterilized. And Margaret Sanger, she's actually the founder of Planned Parenthood. She was big into the eugenics movement. She targeted black communities to get abortions because she wanted that pure race. So telling people that just because they're poor, or just because they want to end the cycle of generational poverty, that they should abort to end that cycle, it's the eugenics movement. You're just saying that because someone is poor, they should not produce more poor children into this world.
Yeah.
And I think that also goes to like Down syndrome and kids with disabilities, like aborting a baby just because they have Down syndrome. I mean, Iceland has like 5 Down syndrome because they push abortion if the baby is detected of Down syndrome. And that's just the eugenics movement at its best.
They're still human.
They're still human. And God created us all in his image. We each have value, we each have worth, no matter our disability.
Absolutely. I mean, and a lot of people talk about how miscarriage is an abortion, but it's not.
It's, yeah. I mean, the definition, the medical terminology of miscarriage is a spontaneous abortion, but that is not the same thing as an elective abortion, which is ending a living human life, terminating a live pregnancy, a viable pregnancy. A miscarriage and the removal of a baby in the womb, a non-viable baby, is what miscarriage treatment is. And it's not the same thing. Miscarriage treatment and abortion treatment they may be the same procedures, because like, what is it? I don't want to throw out a bunch of medical terms, but they might be the same. Yeah, they might be the same procedures, but they're not the same thing, because one is removing a viable and one's removing a non-viable.
Right, and already passed on.
Right, naturally, natural death.
Yeah.
That one.
Abortion is illegal.
No, it's not illegal, unfortunately. See, I write my own language.
Her note says abortion illegal. They'll still have. Oh, I got you now.
You get it. People say okay. Speak.
Even if abortions are illegal, they will still happen. Just kind of like murder's illegal. Murder still happens. Yeah. Stealing is illegal. Stealing still happens.
Yeah, and I feel like there's so many better alternatives, and I feel like hopefully abortion will one day be illegal and people will see it as one of the most disgusting things in history, and all of those abortion centers and abortion clinics and all that money and funding to Planned Parenthood and X, Y, and Z, that should all go to more resources for women, and there should be so many more resources. Yes, people there to hold their hand through the tough pregnancy, or their feelings, their thoughts, get them out of that mindset that abortion is the only way that they're going to have a life. And there should be so much more support for women, and we fail in that as a country.
I just did a really quick Google search on how much Planned Parenthood like actually is getting in, and it says in 2023 they were making $2 million. Is that right? And $300 million to government services for
350 million, yeah.
Abortions.
They profit off of the death of preborn children.
That much money.
They make $1.29 billion in total revenue, and then around $500 million came from the government reimbursing Planned Parenthood for providing medical services covered by whatever.
Yeah. And that's just sad. I feel like think of if all that money went to help pregnant women and families struggling.
Just improving like pregnancy healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's always more things we can improve on, and just improving medical care for a woman while she's pregnant and researching those things and how to, you know what I mean, just helping women in their pregnancy and counseling efforts and things like that is what we really need. And abortion should not. Abortion is not the best option. And you know what I mean?
Definitely.
What are you doing?
I just read your notes.
What did I do? Yes. See, it was just thoughts were just pouring out of my head, and I just wrote them down in crazy ways.
I got you. We already covered this one.
Slavery and abortion. Slavery and abortion, they tie hand in hand because both of them said that they might be human scientifically, but they're not a person. And anytime, even with like the Holocaust, like the Nazis looked at Jews and they said, you may be a human, but you're not a person. And anytime that we've separated those two things, it just never came out good. And that's exactly what the abortion movement does.
Some statistics we found.
Okay.
We talked about the other one last episode. Do you want to touch on it again?
What?
Types of abortion.
Oh, yeah, I just had that written down. We already talked about that.
Some statistics we found from World Health
Organization.
Organization.
Yeah, I abbreviate everything.
There was 70 million abortions per year. Is that correct?
Yes, I think that's worldwide. 73 million abortions. Is that worldwide? Look that up. Check that again. Yeah, it is, because it's the World Health Organization. There's 73 million abortions per year. There's actually I don't know if I said this earlier, but there's a clock or not a clock, but like a...
kind of like how like the smoking deaths,
right?
And, like, the suicide deaths.
It's abortion, and they just keep on going up. 1 in 4 women will have an abortion in their lifetime, and I think that's so sad.
In the year 2016, the number of abortions was about 875,000, and in 2020 it was all the way up to
930,000.
Yeah.
Is that in the United States?
Yeah.
Okay, that's in the U.S. Yeah. 3 out of 10 of all pregnancies will end in an abortion, which, I mean, I think that's so sad, and it also leads into like 1/3 of our Gen Z generation. 1/3 of it is missing because of abortions, and that's sad too.
Yeah.
45%. Oh, we'll talk about it.
We should be grieving our fellow Gen Zers.
Right. 6 out of 10 of abortions are just because they were unintended pregnancies, not because of rape, not because of a medical problem. Just 6 out of 10 of them are just because they're unwanted pregnancies.
That's over half.
Yeah.
3110 all.
What? Where are you at? 3 out of 10 all pregnancies end in abortion. That's what I just said.
Oh, my bad.
And 45.
I was not tracking.
I feel like this is a crazy number. 45% of abortions are unsafe.
That's basically like a 50-50 chance.
Right. And 53% of them are done by the abortion pill, because a lot of people will say, well, most abortions are done before like 10 weeks, so they're not a human yet.
Oh, that was going to talk about the last episode. I googled it, and it said, like, it was this one health website, I don't remember which one it was called, but it said a lot of people say the heartbeat starts at 10 weeks, but the flutters of the heart where it really starts beating is from 3 to 5 weeks.
Yeah. On the Live Action website, it like says there's evidence to prove that the heart can start beating 22 days after conception. So yeah, that's 3 weeks.
Yeah. And most people don't even know they're pregnant at that time.
Right. Yeah, 3 weeks, most people don't even know they're pregnant. Right. 1% of abortion is because of rape, and around 95% of them are just because they're unintended. And another thing is that 70% of abortions are used when people were on contraception. So I honestly think that just proves that abortion is is being used as birth control, and it's a backup if contraception fails for a lot of people. That if this happens and my contraception fails, well, then I have abortion to get, and it's a backup birth control, and it's being used as a birth control.
Which is not what it's intended for. What is abortion intended for?
To terminate a pregnancy.
Right, but like, do you think people really went into it as, let's just kill kids I don't want?
I feel like it originated somewhere. Where did it originate? I don't remember. I think they've always, I don't know. Look it up.
It started in the late 1700s and early 1800s. A quickening term for fetal movement that usually happens after around 4 months of pregnancy.
But what sparked it? What sparked people to want them? You see that anywhere?
No.
Gimme. Let's see. You were looking on Planned Parenthood.
I figured it had like that.
People to. This is not working out.
Yeah, I didn't get what I wanted.
History. Can't spell. Bruh. We should have looked this up before. They date back. This says recorded instances dating back to 1550 BCE in ancient Egypt. It was.
Nothing's given the reasons.
It was used as. It says it was used. It was. In the U.S., abortion was legal. No, that says in the U.S., but why did people do it in
Egypt? Well, it was also in 1515 BC, so.
Yeah.
I don't think they're over here typing in Google why.
Why did people want abortions in 1550 BCE Egypt? It was probably like some ritual or
some crazy ritual. But basically it skyrocketed and we're here.
It says that it was used as fertility control. So it's like all of the same. People used it to regulate fertility, manage family size, handle extramarital pregnancy. So like if they're outside
of marriage
or or deal with economic pressures. I don't know. It really doesn't.
No, I was hoping there would be like I know you can't, but good reason from it. But I was thinking maybe a decent origin, but no, it's just awful.
Another thought. So yeah, and one last thing is to win a war, you have to dehumanize the victim, and that's exactly what the abortion industry does. And that's like, this ties back to like slavery and everything too. They wanted slaves, so they have to dehumanize. And even in like war times, what was that story? I don't remember which war, but it's like this Christmas story where these two opposing sides of soldiers came together and they had like a soccer game around Christmas time. Like it was something along those lines. And the officers got mad because, like, the commanding officers got mad because when the soldiers started interacting, it's going to make them not want to kill the soldiers as much because the next day they're going to have to go to war, they're going to have to battle. And when you start bonding,
forming relationship.
Yep. You can't dehumanize someone.
Right.
So to win a war, you have to dehumanize the victim, and that's exactly what abortion does. You have to say they're not human, or they're not a person, or they may be both of those, but they don't have the same rights as everyone else. And so, yeah.
For sure.
And then one last thing. If we don't allow the right to life, how are we ever going to have any other rights in society? If we don't allow the basic right
to live,
then
absolutely, you have nothing else really. No other morals.
Yes. So anywho, I hope that if you're watching this and maybe you had a different view on abortion before, or you just hopefully you feel a little bit more educated on it, and yeah.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
Anything else to add?
I feel like we covered that pretty good.
No. Abortion is murder. Christians should stand up against it, and
educate yourself and those around you.
Yep. It's the biggest crime against humanity.
Yeah. Well, thank you for taking a moment with us.
Yes. Bye.